So like, oh, there's
standing in, sorry, small people.
Oh, am I? So should I start playing already then? All right then. By popular demand. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I said don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Woke up this morning, smiled at the rising sun. Three little birds perched on my doorstep, singing a sweet song, melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. I said, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Said, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Woke up this morning, smiling at the rising sun. Three little birds perched by my doorstep, singing a sweet song, a melody pure and true. They were singing, this is my message to you. I said, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Said, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. I said, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Spirit leads and spirit guides. Spirit sees, spirit decides. What I need, spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Spirit said, let's take a trip along with Cousin Pele on a mighty ship. A trip begins with your birth on the mighty ship called Mother Earth. You see, spirit leads and spirit guides. Spirit sees, spirit decides. What I need, spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Spirit said, it's lots of fun, taking several dozen trips around the sun. You're gonna have a lot of thrills and chills, and then I guarantee you won't want to do it again. You see, spirit leads and spirit guides. Spirit sees, spirit decides. What I need, spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Now, spirit is much smarter than me, like Einstein times infinity. So I just go with the flow, 'cause I don't know what spirit knows. You see, spirit leads and spirit guides. Spirit sees, spirit decides. What I need, spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Spirit leads and spirit guides. Spirit sees, spirit decides. What I need, spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. I look out the window, spirit drives. I look out the window while spirit drives. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're saying, I love you. I see Julius cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. Love is all around me, and so the feeling grows. It's written in the wind, it's everywhere I go. So if you really love me, come on and let it show. You know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love, you can't depend. I see your face before me as I lie on my bed. I kinda get to thinking of all the things you said. You gave your promise to me, and I gave mine to you. I need you so beside me in everything I do. You know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love, you can depend. I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. And if you really love me, come on and let it show. 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 Thank you. Sometimes when life has got the best of me, it seems I'm never where I'm meant to be. When the end of my rainbow is a river run dry, and the top of that mountain seems impossibly high, I say I'm one step closer to my destiny. Every day I'm one step closer to where I'm meant to be. Don't you know I'm one step closer and I'll never stop. I'm one step closer to the mountaintop. And I believe it with all my power, and I repeat it every waking hour. In my moments of weakness, it carries me through until that mountaintop comes into view. I say I'm one step closer to my destiny. Every day I'm one step closer to be. Don't you know I'm one step closer and I'll never stop. I'm one step closer to the mountaintop. One fine day I'm gonna stand on that mountain, looking at the valley below. I remember what I told myself. It doesn't seem so long ago. Oh no, I said I'm one step closer to my destiny. Every day I'm one step closer to where I'm meant to be. Don't you know I'm one step closer and I'll never stop. I'm one step closer to the mountaintop. You know I'm one step closer to my destiny. Every day I'm one step closer to where I'm meant to be. Don't you know I'm one step closer and I'll never stop. I'm one step closer to the mountain top. Thank you. People, are you listening to what I gotta say? You see, we're on a mission, got to find a way. And if you and me will make a little guarantee, spread a little aloha around the world, then I know we could work things out and make this world a better place for you and for me. I said, hey, say, put a little aloha in your day. Spread a little aloha around the world. Hey, L-O-H-A, put a little aloha in your day. Spread a little aloha around the world. Put a little aloha in your heart. Can you imagine all around the world a little bit of aloha in every boy and girl? Can you imagine a simple life could be with a little aloha in you and me? I said, spread a little bit of aloha and put a little love in your heart. Take a little dip in the ocean. Oh yeah, alright. I said, hey, L-O-H-A, put a little aloha in your day. Spread a little aloha around the world. Hey, L-O-H-A, put a little aloha in your day. Spread a little aloha around the world. 'Cause aloha means hello, and aloha means goodbye, and aloha means I love you. I wanna take you high, high, high around the world. Gonna touch the sky all around the world. I'm singing A-O-H-A, put a little aloha in your day. Spread a little aloha around the world. A-L-O-H-A, put a little aloha in your day. Spread a little aloha around the world. And put a little aloha in your heart. Spread a little aloha around the world. Spread a little aloha around the world.
Aloha, Dick Franklin. Thank you. Very uplifting.
My voice loud enough with the breather.
Can anybody hear me? How's this? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, time to get started. Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday celebration. Thank you for being here to be part of this today. My name is Stephen Goss. I'm the facilitator for today. We have a different facilitator every week. I'm excited about being today's speaker. I'm I'm excited about today's speaker. I'm not today's speaker. Elvira, how do you pronounce your last name? DiBrigit? DiBrigit is with us for the first time as our guest speaker. The topic she's going to share with us today is about the intersections of spirituality and science. And I think that's uh, an interesting topic because we all know at some point they do intersect. And maybe that intersection is just where your dogma is going to get run over. So between science and so pay attention. Musician today is Dick Franklin. We always love having his music to listen to. I'll be introducing Elvira more fully later in the program before she speaks. Um, now would be a good time if he's prepared for a reading from the Science of Mind magazine. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Reagan, and I'll do the reading today from the Guide for Spiritual Living, Science of the Mind. Looks like October is Power to the People, which is probably appropriate for this season. So the reading for Sunday, October 20th, is entitled Born Anew. And these always start with a quote from somebody, and today it's our friend Hafiz. What Hafiz said is, "Ever since it heard your name, joy has been running through the streets trying to find you." Science teaches us that there is not an atom of our physical being that was even in it a few months ago. We can say this: we were born anew in this day and will be born anew in the next. A year from today, if we were to return to the same room we're in now, except for the mind that brings us here, we would not bring anything with us in our physical bodies that we have with us right now. I do not see any reason, theoretically at least, why a person could not heal themselves of anything given time if a new mold could be furnished. That is not just a metaphysical abstraction. In the biblical book of Hebrews, chapter 11:3, it says, quote, "Things which are seen were not made of things which do appear." What we see comes out of what we do not see. And apparently that reading is from something called Take Your Troubles Away. And then the writers go on and say, everything cycles around again, but being born again of the Spirit means even more than physical rejuvenation. It's a complete rearrangement of priorities. As we grow into full realization of our spiritual natures, we're inspired to take better care of ourselves, treasuring our bodies as holy temples and making wiser choices on their behalf. With this comes managing our emotions more smoothly, dwelling on fewer resentments and regrets, and increasingly living in forgiveness and trust. While we often think of personal healing as being the recovery from some illness or injury departing, and of course it can be that, it's also befriending the unknown. That's where everything we now cherish came from, and it's where we will be heading by the minute. Okay, and then we have an affirmation. I'll read it, then I'll repeat it back, and we'll say it together. In this knowledge of the presence, I know that my spirit is free of all limitations. Okay? I'll say the first line, and then you guys say it back.
Okay.
In this knowledge of the presence,
The presence.
I know that my spirit is free of all limitations.
I know that my spirit is free of all limitations. Thank you, Rick. Great job. On short notice. Great job. So my telephone just dinged. It reminds me maybe the rest of you would like to put your phones on airplane mode, or if you haven't already. Hmm. Uh, that was just the prelude music from Dick. Are you ready to, on short notice, play another tune?
Okay. Song about life in Hawaii. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. How I love my life. Every moment unfolds before my eyes. With infinite sweet surprise. I love my life. I love my life. With every beat, my heart says yes to peace and ease and happiness. And with every breath that comes and goes, abundant blessing overflows. I love my life. I love my life. I love what I see. I love what I do. I love being me. I love loving you. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. How I love my life. Every moment unfolds before my eyes with infinite sweet surprise. I love my life. I love my life. I hear the breeze. It calls my name. The swaying trees, they do the same. All things within the everything, all heaven and nature sing. I love my life. I love my life. I love what I see. I love what I do. I love being me. I love loving you. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. Every moment unfolds before my eyes with infinite sweet surprise. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life.
Wow, your lyrics are so great. And I think most of them a lot are original. Is that correct?
That's original, yeah.
Yes. So amazing. Can't get any better. Love my life. Dancers in the back of the room expressing joy.
Smell the universe, the odor.
Wow, really strong.
Good. Now would be a good time to settle in for our meditation period. Uh, the reason we're going to go within is because, you know, most of the answers can only be found on the internet. So we're going to go within. And most of you have been here before, so you kind of know the drill. Like sitting up straight, comfortably, you know, feet on the floor. Close your eyes. No spitting, swearing, that kind of thing. So. And this meditation has a topic, and it's about feeling what it is you really want. It's like an intersection, between thinking and feeling. So instead of just thinking about you want, like, feel. So I'm going to keep talking for a bit. So at New Thought, we know that our thoughts determine how we feel. So do you want to feel totally safe and free from all anxiety, worry, and any feelings of lack? What would that feel like to just have no worries? Wow. No lack, either inner or outer lack. Would you like to be satisfied with the way you are right now? That you are totally good enough, confident about your life. If you are confident, how does confidence feel? Having no more doubts that you are good enough, that you're not lacking anything, that you are a part of everything, and you always were and always will be complete, whole, happy. And how would you like to think or feel about life itself? Does it totally support you? Does it love you? Are you willing to give up any thoughts that you might have of unworthiness that don't support this kind of thinking? So remain silent for just a moment. Look within. Check in on what your thoughts are about these subjects. And I'll bring this back in just a moment. That period of mindfulness reminds me of my meditation teacher asked me if I would like to learn mindfulness, but I said no, because my mind is already too full. Okay. Elvira has a question for the audience, and we're going to go around and answer it. And if you'll say your name first and answer the question briefly, that would be superb. We're on. And do you have a question ready?
Yes. So I just thought it would be fun to start off by hearing from everyone what their favorite science topic or science genre is. And a little bit, maybe just a sentence about why they love that science.
Good, Mike.
My name is Leah. We have two quantum physics and marine biology because I love the oceans so much.
I'm Terry. I guess I'd say psychology.
I'm Paul, and I like to study gardening and narcissism.
Hi, I'm Sol, and it's hard to narrow it down, but I think lately my favorite topic would be the medical studies of the heart. I think the brain gets a lot of attention, and for personal reasons, I'm thrilled about the metaphysical understanding and the physical understanding of the heart.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, and science is such a what is science? But I'm just gonna dovetail off of psychology, but I love sociology and like social networks and cultural change and how that forms in people's lives.
My name is Jeff, and my favorite science is astronomy because I'm a stargazer.
My name's David. I would say psychology, and I was actually also going to say astronomy too, because I've always loved that as a kid.
My name's Pasha, and I'll opt for archaeology this morning. Archaeology is like studying old things, but there's some amazing new methods being applied to the understanding of the old things.
I'm Patty, and my favorite study, I guess, is health.
I'm Vivek, and in science, I love how conclusions are made based on logic and reasoning. So, logic and reasoning.
Kaimana, as a shaman, I consider myself a scientist, and I love all sciences. I believe science is the evolution of understanding. I think science oftentimes gets a bad rap because it's perfect, but then none of us are. But we're all evolving as is science. And I think as a healer, probably my favorite in sciences is the biologies. I was a pre-med student. I studied a lot of medical sciences and so forth. But I love all science. I mean, everything everybody said, it's just like, yes, it's awesome. I love that, I love that, I love that.
Hi, my name is Johnny, and I'm really intrigued by psychophysiology, which in a nutshell is the study of relationships with your body, with your organs and your systems, and then also medicine.
Hi, I'm Jan, and my first thought was plant biology, anything to do with gardening, plants. I love.
Good morning. My name is Reagan, and I was a scientist in my former life, and I love all sciences, like I say. But I think right now my interest is in science of mind and energy, and particularly energy in the human body.
Hi, my name is Lorraine, and I've always been interested in kind of neurobiology and the science of consciousness. But I can't say I spent a lot of time studying it, but right now I'm very curious about weather and about the changes that are happening with our planet. So I'm very interested in learning more about that.
Hi, my name's Lexi, and I'm just going to pass. I love all the answers and all the sciences. I can't really pick one.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm very fascinated in quantum physics and psychology. Quantum physics kind of really is seeming to point to the mind and the oneness that we are. So it's very fascinating. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Molly, and my answer changes with everyone's answer that they provide. I'm intrigued by the science of the heart and heart coherence, quantum physics, consciousness, energy, horticulture, all the things.
Good morning, my name is Todd, and I think the science that I'm interested in is understanding edible plants and their place in different places.
Todd, are you here for the first time at New Thought for Sunday service?
It's been a while.
Come a couple times.
Welcome back.
I'm Candy, and yes, I love all sciences, particularly quantum physics and marine biology.
Hi, my name's Dick, and whenever I hear the word science, I sort of snicker to myself because, I grew up being taught about what an atom looks like, and they don't look like that. And I got taught all kinds of stuff, and I've been around long enough to have heard many times that the science gets revised. Oh, we found something, and we disproved the old thing. And I've come to believe that it's all people making things up. So my favorite science is the science of making things up. Pseudoscience is what the real scientists call pseudoscience, like epigenetics. That's, where you just kind of make up your worldview and change your cellular structure. That's fun science. No, music's an art. You gotta know the difference between art and science.
Is there a difference between art and science?
I don't know, somehow it's always all the same, right? It's always something trying to find an answer. Everything's looking for an answer, whether it's spirituality or science. So, and Course in Miracles said, well, there's only one answer. Just be it. So, Dick, and I didn't say yet, at this point, my favorite science would be metaphysics, which is an intersection between science and spirituality. And I like it because it makes sense to me. And what is your favorite?
I'm going to talk about that later, right?
Okay, you can get off the hook.
Yeah.
But Dick has to play another song.
He gets to. Man's got to do what a man's got to do. Well, there's daylight, nightlight, black light, and white light. Everything is made of light. There's dawn light and twilight, your light and my light. Everything is made of light. There are heavenly bodies so bright in the skies, reflecting the love that shines in your eyes. Loveliest of light, his eyes filled with love light. Everything is made of light. Oh, there's twilight and starlight. Some say we are light. Everything is made of light. There's earth light and sea light, all there for our delight. Everything is made of light. Our dear Mother Earth is a star deep inside, that's cooled off enough so that we can all ride through the moonlight and sunlight, all part of the one light. Everything is made of light. Everything is made of light.
Thank you, Dick. That
Spreading
was
my
great. Your lyrics are so great. Did you happen to bring any seeds or anything?
Oh, yeah, they're over on the table.
Great.
I did.
Oh, a little bit about, most of you are familiar with New Thought, but maybe some of you aren't. What is it we believe and do here, think at New Thought? Well, at New Thought, we don't use vacuum cleaners because there's too many attachments. So most of you have been here before, so I'm not going to repeat the linear local history, physical location, years, and all that. I would like to say our basic beliefs and philosophy come from science of mind / religious metaphysics, traditions, from all the great religions. They all seem to all come together, and that they teach that there's just one great light, mind, spirit in the universe, and that we are part of it and connected to it forever. And that our thoughts have use of this great creative power that is now manifesting the total universe. So we should learn to pay attention to our thinking because, guess what? It manifests our reality here in this physical plane. So there are many paths, many ways to connect with that great light, and all the different paths are invited to come to this ohana and find aloha and connection with us at the New Thought Center of Hawaii. So thank you for being here, and hope you're feeling connected. Now, I'm not going to ask Dick to play music because I just did. Now it's time for what we have called Ordinaries and Miracles. And once again, it's like, well, what's the real definition of a miracle? Well, I think it's when we just feel relief, peace, some kind of happiness. Like, it's okay, we're connected. Like somebody, you feel appreciation from somebody else, or you're appreciating them. You're grateful for something, or you're just grateful for nothing. Like just, it could be something spectacular, like I don't think anybody's walking on water, but or just I had a good day and this really worked out and it was just amazing. So if anybody would like to share with us some recent miracles, big or small, now's your chance. Just come on up and speak into the mic. This would be the first Sunday in a while where there's no takers, but that's okay. Sure.
Well, I'll just share. Hold on. Did I turn that on? I don't think I turned
Here.
I got to turn it.
I don't think that's on. No.
Oh, thank you. So I'll just share that I've been doing rose water in my water every day, maybe for about 2 weeks now. I put a little bit of rose water in the water, and it's just sort of changed my whole reality. Like my heart is much more open, and people are responding to me differently. And I don't know if I've ever shared how I spent about 6 months at an Osho retreat in Thailand. But people would ask me, like, what are you doing here? You're from Hawaii. And I would pick up the sand and show them the sand was literally crystals. Yeah, so it was like a crystalline island. And so the vibration at that island, Kopangan, was super high. Like the monks used to go out to the island to meditate. And what I found was that whatever you thought manifested really quickly. Like everywhere else in life, there's a little bit of delay. And so we're like, well, I kind of believe this new thought stuff, but how come I haven't created that yet? But when you're like in a crystal, it's like, oh, the next day the thought has the results right away. And I got the reality that I was holding thoughts about how I thought people felt about me. And I noticed that that was creating that exact experience. And so I changed the way I thought about how people thought about me, and it changed the way that people were treating me. And what was super cool was there was an environment, the Ocean Retreat Center, people would come, and so every week there was like a new batch of people. So it was a great place to sort of play, like, well, what if I think everybody loves me? And everybody would love me. And Rosewater has had sort of the same effect. Like everywhere I'm going, I'm just connecting with people that I've wanted to connect with for years, but never like, maybe I held a story about them or whatever it was. It's just like everything is softened. And just on a side note, I got to see Mike Love 2 times this week. And both were like miraculous. I met the musicians. I just had all these like magical connections that I really think is because it has been softened by the rose water. Yeah, it's just melted the heart. And Harry, Rouhani Jim, who was here several times, when I went through a really intense breakup, I went to him and I was like, what do I do to heal my heart? And he said, drink rose water. It works. Yeah, so good stuff. Yeah.
Thanks, come on. Any more? Please come on up.
I just want to share a moment of gratitude for Kaimana.
Sit on the microphone.
Oh, I know. I don't want to stand in front of the crowd. I'm getting acclimated back here, establishing my own home and some part-time job and just all the influx of new things occurring in my life. And I kind of froze a little bit. And one night I was just walking on Ali and I called Kaimana. And he just gave me some beautiful insight and reflection and was really present with me. And when people can slow down and listen and receive the other person and just provide some words of wisdom, I think that's how we heal humanity and create more connection in our community. And I just really appreciated that. So,
what was your name again?
Sarah.
Sarah. Thanks for sharing, Sarah, and appreciating Kaimana. We appreciate it also here at Utah.
I really appreciate that Sarah had the feeling like, I should call Kaimana, and then she called, and it was like we had kind of a magical connection. But it's because you followed that voice, that inner voice, right? That to me is the miracle. Like the voice tells us do something, and then we do it.
Yeah.
So whenever we don't use the mic, there's a big silence on the live stream.
Oh, the live stream.
That's why we want. And Sarah, are you here for the first time?
No.
But it's been a while? Or?
I seem to come every other week.
Okay, well, thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
You've been gone for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're coming on the other week.
Right. Yeah, I'm the one who's been gone. But I'm here, mostly here anyways. Well, I have a choice of which introduction to introduce Elvira DiBrigit, either the one I wrote or the one Pasha did. I like Pasha better.
I want to hear yours.
So Elvira has always loved to explore the interplay of science and spiritual truths. In her 20s, this is what drew her to the Waldorf education and Rudolf Steiner's teachings. During COVID, she spent a year and a half under direct mentorship with Marianne Williamson, training as a miracle-minded coach. And then last year, she became certified as a positive intelligence coach, which is based on neuroscience. She recently retired as a credentialed teacher for independent study homeschool families, specializing in alternative approaches to education, like Waldorf, Montessori, and unschooling. She is sometimes described as the puberty doula for her work as a parent coach and teen mentor. She might explain that one a little bit more to you. And she creates bonds of mutual trust between children and parents. She brought to this work of helping parents connect more meaningful with their children over 20 years of experience as a credentialed Waldorf teacher and mother of 3 children, which is a lot of experience. Elvira is also a positive psychology practitioner and a certified positive intelligence coach. She has contributed to some best-selling books such as The Mind-Body Connection and No Problem Parenting. In 2018, Elvira, her husband Todd, and their youngest son moved here to the Big Island, where they've been busy converting an old coffee and nut farm into a diversity fruit and vegetable garden. So I personally toured that farm several times before they even started working on it much. What they've just done is mind-blowing, incredible. She has been a member of New Thought Center since 2020. And we are very happy to welcome her as our guest speaker this morning. So, welcome, Elvira.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, after hearing all of you share about your different sciences that you love, it just reminded me again that in today's day and age, I think that there's a lot more acceptance of the interplay of science and spirituality. But when I was a child, they just felt like complete polar opposites. And part of that was because my father was a high school chemistry teacher and computer science teacher. And my mother, on the other hand, she was a librarian, but she was a big seeker of all things metaphysical. And she would take me to all these different meetings, like all different faiths and experiences. And so I really saw that they didn't really have a meeting of the minds about those things. I think that partly contributed to their breakup. And so it really has been like my whole life kind of feeling like this is part of my karma, my mission is to like try to join these two forces of science and spirituality. And just now when someone was talking, it reminded me, I'm already going to go off script here, but when I was working as a charter school teacher for homeschool families, and part of my job was to approve different curriculum that they were ordering and to recommend them also. And I recommended this one called The Story of Science, I think it's called. It's really great, published by the Smithsonian. And it's the whole story of the beginning of like Western science and these philosophers, but really they came from, they just had these questions about the world and they were coming really from a spiritual background and trying to find these answers. And it was so funny because after the teachers would approve it, there was another office that did the ordering and they had to kind of double check that there were no religious things being ordered, right? Because this was a public school, so no funds could go towards anything religious curriculum. And I got this email back saying, this book, The Story of Science looks like it's a religious curriculum, so we can't approve it. And I just thought that was so funny. I did get it approved because I went back and talked with people in the office and said, no, actually, this is a science book, but it's just written from this perspective that I just shared with you. So yeah, there's still a lot of people out there in the world who see these as polar opposites. But for me, as I was growing up, I just kind of one of these little miracles happened where I was introduced to Waldorf education while I was studying for my early childhood education credits that you have to have if you're going to work in a daycare or after school program. And so I went to visit a Waldorf school and I saw these children playing in their after school program. It was totally different than the after school programs where I was working. These kids were just playing so much more calm, and like their games were like, you could really see that they were learning and practicing. They were like playing little make-believe games of like different professions, and like there was this whole little community that they had created in their play. And you know what I was seeing in the bigger public school after school program was just like kids going running around wild, screaming and like, you know, playing with balls or whatever, but like, or blocks, but I don't know, just not the imaginative type or like relational imaginative play. So I got really inspired to become a Waldorf teacher, and that, as it happens, really does have to do with this interplay of science and spirituality. And as I started reading more Rudolf Steiner, I realized that he was trying to study the spiritual world in a scientific way. That was a big part of what he was doing with his clairvoyance and what he was sharing with other people, if they were interested, was that just as you can study the natural world with your senses, you're using your physical senses to study these things, and you're maybe creating instruments and measuring. You can do that also with your soul perceptions, and we can have inner instruments and inner senses to develop an understanding of the spiritual world. And yeah, I just think it's so interesting that he did so many things. There was, you know, besides education, he also had a lot to share with the world about medicine and agriculture and architecture. And in education, I can really see how he instructed teachers to help with issues that are now more like they were future issues that students would need in the future, like really needing to bring movement into the curriculum, teaching through movement, teaching through art, and teaching through a love of nature, because he really foresaw that our culture was going to get much more analytical and just limited in that way. But he had these exercises to develop your spiritual scientific instrument. And it's interesting to me now, looking back, how these really relate to neuroscience and positive psychology, right? But this was like, how many years, 150 years ago or something? He was, you know, some of these exercises, like the number one was about really developing clear thinking. So you would have people like study a really basic everyday object, like a pencil, and think about all the steps it took to become that pencil. So really clear thinking. And then another one was about developing a positive attitude. Another one was meeting any new experience with complete open-mindedness, not having judgment or bringing your own past into what you were experiencing. So, but before I even learned about Waldorf education and Rudolf Steiner, when I was 16, I had the good fortune to meet this woman who was the first translator of A Course in Miracles. She was translating it into Spanish, and her name was Rosa Maria Wynn. And she just had this passion. She was this, very passionate Puerto Rican woman, and all her passion went into really living the principles of A Course in Miracles. And so it was, always a joy and a learning experience to spend time with her. She was, just so focused on reflecting back to people their own holiness. Like one example of this is going on a walk with her. She loved to go on hikes, and we were hiking in the Marin Hills, and we passed by this woman and young man, and she says, "Hello, how are you?" And just in 5 minutes, she gets them like sharing their story, and then she's sending them blessings, and and then we just keep walking on the path. But yeah, it's just, she really got me believing in the fact that we're all connected, and yeah, she was also interested in quantum mechanics and learning about how science was just catching up with that idea that we really are all connected. And yeah, when I think about it, it's been, mostly in my lifetime, I think that quantum mechanics has been, more widespread, it's growing and more people are knowing about it. Like, I feel like, when I first heard about it, people were kind of poo-pooing it, like, oh, that's not real science, like people were saying. It's just, and maybe it is just, it's just fun and games. But I like to just think about how, this new string theory is really showing how it's all about vibration. And, in that passage in the Bible where it talks about, in the beginning was the word, the logos in Greek, it's all about vibration. So it does feel like science is catching up with the truths that we've all known in different ways. And yeah, I don't know that much about quantum mechanics. I haven't really spent that much time studying it. That's kind of like the macrocosm. And I've spent more of my time studying like the microcosm of neuroscience and positive psychology. And yeah, I heard when I started studying positive psychology, I learned about this theory that Barbara Fredrickson has about positive resonance. And it reminded me so much of what Rosa Maria was doing, like on that hike, what she did all the time. It's this, they have, done studies with brain imaging. And there was this great study at Princeton University, and it showed like when two people were sharing about a positive experience, like there was a storyteller sharing about a positive experience, and then the listener was listening, and then they could see that both the listener and the storyteller, their brains like lit up in the same areas at the same time. And there was this neurosynchronicity. And yeah, I just felt like I was like, oh yeah, there's the proof of what we're doing when we're really listening to someone and seeing them in their highest. And this doesn't happen, like the same scientists, did the study with people talking about something that they didn't agree on, some divergent points of view. And in that case, there was not neurosynchronicity. It was, different, heart rate patterns, and different, areas of the brain and different breathing patterns. So yeah, just interesting. So then, so as I said, I was starting to study positive psychology for a while, and I was integrating that into my work with families and doing girls' circles, teaching people about, how they could apply these principles into their life in different ways. I'm also really fascinated by the study of hormones and how our body reacts to that, and teaching women especially how that whole monthly cycle really does affect your perceptions, and how we can learn to live in sync with those and know if we know what to expect, and we can be gentler on ourselves at different times, or we can use that upward, like that power that we feel at the ovulation time of our cycle to just go out there and generate what we want at that time. So during the pandemic, I had this other interesting experience where I was working on my stuff, and I remember very specifically saying, okay, I shouldn't look at Facebook right now, but I'm just going to take 10 minutes. I'm just 10 minutes of a break, then I'll get back to work. And in those 10 minutes, I saw an ad for this miracle-minded coaching program with Marianne Williamson. And I just knew right away, like my whole body lit up. I was like, yeah, I need to do this. Rosa Maria had already passed on several years before that. So I was like, oh yeah, I can like have a new mentor. And yeah, so I was one of the first of a group of 25 people that applied and were accepted through her program. And she was really focusing, her mission was to help different types of healers to learn and to like practice the principles of the Course in Miracles. Although she also, in that whole training, she wasn't, like she would obviously talk about A Course in Miracles, but she didn't just accept people who had read A Course in Miracles. She was open to anybody, and she kept telling us that with our clients, we had to be able to work with people who had any different types of beliefs, and that it wasn't, their healing wasn't contingent on their beliefs in God. So that was really beautiful. But each week we had about either an hour to 2 hours of time speaking with her, and it was a lot of, you know, like she had a lesson, but then there was a lot of back and forth where she would take our questions. But really, there were some consistent things. Like she really was helping us to practice like banishing our own ego when we were sitting in front of our clients. And then helping the clients to really see that all behaviors are either a call for love or out of fear. Either love or a call for love. And that only what you are not giving can be lacking in a situation.
It's a call for love.
Yes. Call for love. And yeah, she was always reminding us, you know, that the ego speaks first and speaks loudest. And that if our relationship with God is just situational, you know, just when we're feeling a need for some higher being, some help, then it will be harder for us to have that practice of asking for help, which is, you know, really what we could be doing all the time. And so she kept like talking about this spiritual musculature that we should develop. And it was just so interesting. I'll just have to share how that plays into what I learned through positive intelligence. So after studying with Marianne for 1.5 years and completing her mastery program, I told myself, okay, I'm not paying for any more trainings. And I'm done. I just have to, you know, practice and give. But then, you know, sure enough, just, I don't know, a month later or something, one of my colleagues from that program messaged me and said, hey, I just heard about this free grant program to train as a positive intelligence coach. And it's only like a 7-week program. And yeah, again, I just felt like, the universe is calling me to do this. And you had to have a group of people that you did this with. So the person who was contacting me was like, you know, will you join me? Because you can't do it alone. So I joined with them and we embarked on this program, and it's really been life-changing. And I see it as like the scientific counterpart of everything that I learned in my years before with Marianne Williamson and just studying A Course in Miracles on my own. So just in brief, positive intelligence, it was this concept in this book written by Shirzad Shamin. I put the book over there on the table. And he was like an executive business coach, and he took a lot of the positive psychology science and neuroscience and behavioral sciences and kind of did like meta-analysis with it and put it all together to find like these common strands at the simplest, kind of like, you know, breaking it down to the very common factors. And he developed this term, positive intelligence quotient, or what we just call PQ, like IQ. It's a measurable thing that You can measure how often during any specific day you're using your brain towards, not just positive, but productive, useful thoughts instead of, the opposite would be just in like the monkey mind and just in
Worrying.
yeah, worrying, or even just like, loop thoughts that were just on, but not really going anywhere. Thoughts that contribute to your progress in life or thoughts that hinder it. So PQ is a measurement of how much your thoughts are in that positive mindset. And he was testing it with students at Stanford, and they called it the Jedi Mind Training Program. And it really is about growing these 3 mental muscles. And again, with this brain imaging, they've been able, I guess it's called magnetic resonance imaging. They've been able to really see that people who do these practices for about 7 weeks, they can grow new gray matter in their right brain. And the right brain is where you have all this more creativity, impulses, and you can get insights like that. You have your intuition. And it's just interesting to think about how that relates to, for example, like in the Course in Miracles, the 50 principles in the very beginning of the book. Some of them are that miracles are thoughts, and miracles rearrange our perception, and miracles are habits. And this PQ program is all about changing your mental habits. And like in the workbook of the Course in Miracles, like day 1 is nothing I see in this room means anything. And then by day 16, I have no neutral thoughts. And another one is like, I'm not alone in experiencing my thoughts. So all of this mind training in that Course in Miracles workbook, I feel like it just goes hand in hand. It's just, that's like a spiritual side of looking at things, but applies the same principles of neuroscience to like retrain the brain. The cool thing about PQ is that there is an app so that you get these nice reminders to do something specific to retrain your brain. And it's based on the idea that we have 10 saboteur thoughts that are hindering us. And that's just like what Marianne was saying, the ego always speaks first, speaks loudest. So we have to recognize what are those saboteur thoughts that keep coming. And then we have this ability to switch into this other part of our brain. And that's the sage part of our brain, or the Jedi part. And we can't access that through analytical thoughts. And then the idea that both our saboteurs are contagious and our sage mind is also contagious. And that, I just think about what I've heard about mirror imaging and mirror neurons and how it really has been proven with science that we can, see when we're thinking something, when we're acting a certain way, that other people just pick up on it and mirror that for us. So, I just think that's so fascinating. We could do a little what's called a 10-second PQ rep, which is part of this like little ability just anytime during the day to start to switch over into that different sage mindset. So this is a cool way to do it, and it's very simple. You can start by just rubbing 2 fingertips together with such a tension. It might be helpful to close your eyes, and you just try to really feel the fingertip ridges, like your fingerprint lines. See if you can feel them. And then you can take one hand and place it on the other hand, and then rub your fingertips down through the fingers, down the palm of one hand. And just do that again and feel all the sensations on both hands if you can. Usually by this time I start to remember to take a deep breath when I'm doing this. Just feel my belly or my chest rising and falling. And that might be 10 seconds. And it just helps to intercept the thought pattern that we were in that moment and give us a chance to redirect. And, yeah, where was I going with all this? Yeah. Let's see, I guess, how much time do we have? We have a little more time?
You're doing good.
10 minutes.
Okay.
You have a few minutes.
Okay, I think that's perfect because I have this other little exercise that we could do if you're willing. And this version of it I learned when I was studying positive psychology, and there's an interesting study that was done with two groups of people, and some people went and had an actual conversation with a mentor, a wise person, someone that they felt like could give them advice. And they went and sought some advice. And then another group of people, right, the control group, they just went and had that conversation in their mind. They just imagined going and talking to a wise person. And both came back having the same effect. That they felt that they got some good advice and they widened their perspective, right, and found some wisdom. So if you're comfortable, we could do that right now together. So first, think of someone that you would want to speak with that you really respect for their wisdom. And of course, since we're just doing this on the internet, we can connect with anyone. That time and place doesn't matter, right? And then bring to mind some question that might have been on your mind recently, some minor thing that you would like advice with, and some challenge. And then close your eyes and take a deep breath. And imagine that you're walking on a path to a building. The building where you're going to find this person. So maybe it's a home, maybe it's a school or a temple. You're walking up to the building, you see the door in front. And you open the door and go inside. And you see this person that you're going to meet with. And they're sitting down. And there's a chair right next to them. They invite you to sit down. So you sit down next to them and you begin to tell them about your situation. Just imagine this back and forth, you describing your challenge, and then their response. You can ask them for their advice. ready, you can say thank you. Give them a hug and say goodbye. Wiggle your toes. Start to gently open your eyes and come back. Yeah, so I guess in summary, in all these different pathways, I've really found that what we're learning is to let go of our perceptions and let go of our analytical mind, and that's what makes room for miracle-mindedness. And so in science terms, it's like when you practice stimulating the right side of your brain, you can reach this state where new perceptions are possible. Yeah, thank you all.
Well, thank you. That was a lot to think about, or not overthink too much, but it's just so fascinating that it comes down to watching your thoughts, what we are thinking. And it's like, can we just go on, get carried away, having negative thoughts that don't feel good, but not realize it? It's like, what does it take to realize, oh, wow, this isn't making me feel good. I need to change my thinking. And it seems like there's some kind of just basic mindset. Like, I read the Course a lot. It's always talking about willingness. And it's like, oh, are you really actually willing? And that famous quote is now credited to Marianne Williamson, I think about. It's like, we're not really afraid to look within and let go, because of how we'll find out how rotten we are. It's like we're afraid to find out how great we are, how connected. It's like that ego is totally holding on. No, I'm not. You're not going to dissolve me. It's like,
and
I'm
like
real, and the rest of it's bullshit. But this is
that's the survival part of the brain.
this survival. Yeah. So working on being willing to change, basically. Give up fear. Thank you again. Now we're going to take the time to do a collection to help support New Thought, and just don't have fear.
Let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. Where is the dream you set aside? The one you tried to hide, kept locked up inside, denied. What if that dream that had to wait came again to say that it's not too late today. Let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. What would you do if you knew that you could never lose? What then would you choose to do? How would it feel to be free, to live your deepest dream, and know that you'd succeed? Guaranteed that your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your alive. Let it come alive. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Once again, so great. Thank you, Dave. I'm going to do some announcements coming up at Youth Center of Hawaii on the Sunday service is always at 10 a.m. in person here at the center and by live stream video on YouTube. We have free child care. Please make reservations by the Friday before. Next 3 Sundays on 10/27, Roberto, program and music both. Topic is spiritual evolution and a layman's journey of caregiving. November 3rd, Hain Elor, Coming Beyond the Veil, Communing Beyond the Veil. Music by Bernice Roberto. November 10th, Michael Sudman. His topic is Miracle Consciousness. Music by Mahina Saunders. Weekly classes. Mondays 4:30 to 5:30. Jen Ann Wong, Tai Chi and Qigong. $15 per class. So I think he has a monthly rate also. So we're going to have a meditation class here at the New Thought Library, but we can't because it's already fully booked. So I couldn't resist that. Monthly events. End of the month potluck after the service. This will be next week, October 27th. Produce giveaway on the lanai after the service. Next event is produce giveaway on the lanai. Oh, okay, that'll be November 3rd. There's produce back there now that just couldn't wait till November 3rd. So help yourself. Have crystal bowl meditation 9 to 9:30 before the service in the Hanua room, which is right behind us. The next one will be on November 10th. A special event coming up is November 9th called Love Continuum Workshop, number 4 with Miriam Mann, PhD. That's from 1 to 5 p.m. in the Hanua room. It's $50 or ask about a Kamiana rate.
Can I share real quickly about that? We had a really wonderful session yesterday, had about almost 15 people, the room was full. And we're really exploring elemental connections. So like yesterday we did fire, and next week it's air, which is also breath and so important to speak and so forth. But I found it a really wonderful program.
Right, that was a testimonial from Kaimana about the workshop that was held yesterday in the same vein. Was well worth it, great, healing.
I find it kind of a continuation of some of the shamanic work that we've done here.
So also another announcement is anybody that's musical and would like to participate join the musical ensemble to prepare to perform at the Thanksgiving Interfaith Concert on Monday, November 25th. There's a sign-up sheet on the round table. Rehearsals are at noon, and I think that you are meeting today for rehearsals. And also we have meet most Sundays between now and Thanksgiving. If you'd like to submit a prayer request to the New Thought Prayer Ministry, written requests are placed in the little wooden new box on the table over there. And now you can also check out our New Thought Lending Library after service because it's full of books. It's fully booked. There's also CDs and DVDs. And if you'd like to be on the mailing list, sign the guest book to get the weekly e-newsletter or sign up on the website, www.newthoughtcenterhawaii.com. And that's it. I hope you're all having positive IQ thoughts.
Where are we going to lunch?
I'm sorry, there is going to be no lunch today because she's fully booked elsewhere.
Yeah, I have a volunteer position, work teaching or facilitating some PQ stuff with families. But I do have a sign-up sheet on the table if you're interested in learning more. And we're forming a local PQ pod to do the 7-week program. It's actually going to start next week. So if you're interested, sign up there.
Will that be Zoom or in person?
It's going to be a little bit of both, actually. We're going to have some meetings in person and some on Zoom. And if people can't come in person, they can come on Zoom.
Was there more? Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
We're all going to stand and do the Hawaii Aloha, join hands.
Help bridge the gap. The gaps.
Alright.
That's true. I was just thinking about